Humans are greedy. Money, power, sex. Human desire knows no bounds. However, desire is something humans can't live without. Those who are overcome with insatiable desire may go so far as to sell their souls to a demon. So, in other words, my parents, who sold my soul in exchange for money, are living embodiments of greed. Okay, so I want to talk about a series that I really love, and it's called Mairimashita Iruma-kun, or Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, by Osamu Nishi. There's so many things I love about this series that I don't know where to start. Let's see. First off, what is it about? Well, okay. It's about this boy named Iruma, age 14, who's too kind for his own good. He's the kind of person who can't say no to people, even if it is a small request, a big favor, or an absurd demand. Even he himself is tired of it. He just can't say no. On the other hand, his parents are complete scumbags. And because they're complete scumbags, they sold Iruma to a demon named Sullivan for money. They are honestly the worst parents ever, even worse than Gon's dad.
You asshole!
Because of them, Iruma has spent most of his life getting dragged around by his parents' desire for money. It's just that this time, they definitely went too far. Fortunately for Iruma, he's been treated rather well ever since he got to the demon world. Fancy food, clothes, and everything. This is because the demon Sullivan always wanted a grandson who he can spoil and dote on. Iruma doesn't really have much of a choice in the matter, so he becomes his grandson regardless. But that's not all. Not only does he become Sullivan's grandson, but he also gets enrolled in a demon school. Sure, Iruma might be a human, and it's the first time a human was ever enrolled in a demon school, but as long as no one finds out, it's all good, right? Well, so far at least. So yeah, that's how it all starts. So next up, I want to share my thoughts on it. To sum it all up, I really love the story. I love the world building, the character designs are done really well. Also the pacing's really good. Some arcs take longer than others, and that's alright with me. Each arc takes time in setting up its events and gradually unfolding in a satisfying way. However, in the early chapters, it starts off pretty comical, relying pretty heavily on its comedy and gags, but it gets really good later on. Now, each chapter feels like a breath of fresh air, despite having reoccurring bits, and this is because Osamu Nishi has a way of making things interesting, making things fun and engaging each week. Like, it's almost always never a dull moment each chapter, and it makes you want to keep coming back for more. Now, the manga pretty much has everything I want in a story. It's got comedy, slice of life, romance, and action. And I just love it wholeheartedly. It all just fits perfectly together. But what I really adore is the amount of wholesomeness this manga has. The wholesome relationship Iruma has between his friends and family is just so heartwarming and endearing. Considering his upbringing, it puts a smile on my face to know Iruma is genuinely loved and supported by the people around him. Okay, so first up, his family, Sullivan and Opera. While Sullivan likes to spoil Iruma, Opera on the other hand, usually is a guardian, sometimes mentor, but mostly a caretaker for Iruma. And he also makes sure that Sullivan doesn't go overboard. The important thing is that they obviously both care for him genuinely. Now, we have to consider that this is essentially the first time for Iruma to experience what it's like to have a loving family. A family that cares for him, so he doesn't know how to react at first. After some time, Iruma gradually opens up to the both of them, and considers them as family, which is... Oh man, it's so good. Anyway, I also love the simple moments that they have, such as playing video games or going shopping. and moments where they have heart-to-heart conversations, which is really wholesome. Meanwhile, the relationship between Iruma and his friends is also wholesome. Like, mm, ah! Sorry about that. So it's probably my second or third reason why I love this manga. Their relationship is so wholesome that it tugs on your heartstrings. Like, ever since Iruma got adopted by Sullivan, he was able to do many things for the first time. This includes making friends at school. Now, for me personally, I really love the moments where they just chill and hang out, bonding together, having fun with each other's company. Because this is one of this manga's greatest strengths in my opinion. The character interactions. They're so good, I love it so much. Their interactions are always so much fun, and it's mainly because of their personalities. Now, how the author handles an interaction or a situation depends on which characters are involved. And since the cast is so varied and diverse, you get all sorts of fun interactions between the characters, which honestly, it brings the story to life. It makes you want to care for these characters like they were your own friends. Which reminds me, I need to briefly talk about the characters. Just like the story, I really love the characters. At first, getting into the series, I couldn't help but think that the main cast, or should I say the misfits, were like My Hero Academia characters. But they were just demons instead. Like, we have Kame Kamui, which is literally like Mineta. But as I got into it more, I got to learn that these characters are more than that. Iruma and his friends grow throughout the course of the series, and you'd love to see it. They aren't just one-sided. They have ambitions, likes and dislikes. They have hobbies. We get to see them what they're like outside of school, what their families are like. We even get to see all sorts of interactions between characters, that it becomes a wonderful array of connections, especially later down the line. I also love how these characters get their own spotlight as well. Basically, Osamu Nishi pretty much gives so much attention to each of her creations and their relationships that you end up falling for all of them. Which, speaking of, let's talk about romance. Like, don't even get me started on the romance, bruh. Like, okay, so as for the main ship of the series, Amiri and Iruma, basically, the two of them are perfect together. It's as simple as that. Like, I ship them so hard, man. Their relationship is so wholesome that it gives me diabetes, bro. No joke. So basically, it started up with something simple, like a reading buddy, where Iruma reads manga for Amiri, since, you know, she can't read and understand Japanese. And then, that evolved into something greater, something more meaningful. So essentially, their relationship becomes something like that where they encourage each other to strive for better, to become their better self, and to achieve their goals and ambitions. Which, if you ask me, I'd say that's pretty wholesome. They encourage each other, they be there for each other when times get rough. Man, I'm loving it. And honestly, it keeps getting better. And that's because there's progress, man. Unlike Rent a Girlfriend, there are a handful of actual developments in the manga, and it's so amazingly sweet. Like, there's a chapter where Iruma and Amiri were baking cookies, and since both of them didn't have any experience in it, they made such a mess that Opera had to step in and, you know, teach them, which was pretty hilarious. Now, the author hasn't forgotten about the other characters, which is honestly nice, cause I need more romance, bro. I can't help it. I want to see more ships. But yeah, it's so nice to see that characters other than Iruma also get potential love interests. I like the main ship, but I want to see other characters falling in love too, you know? Anyway, I want to briefly talk about the art. In my opinion, the art doesn't become better till like chapter 50 or so, and it gets better from there. But don't get me wrong though, the art for the earlier chapters are still good, it's just a bit sketchy and experimental. And yeah, my overall opinion is that the art is good, and it keeps getting better later on. In fact, I'm amazed at what can be achieved in a week, since I've been reading it weekly after I caught up with the manga. It's really good. The art is really good. So finally, despite all the things I've said thus far, this is ultimately a story of how Iruma, a human who gets adopted by a demon, adjusts to his new life in the demon world. Throughout the story, we often see all sorts of challenges that Iruma faces, ranging from funny shenanigans to life-threatening situations. And we get to see him face these challenges as he goes about his life in school, and how he overcomes them by having courage, luck, and sheer ingenuity. The story also focuses on growth and self-discovery. We get to see Iruma learn more about himself and do many things for the first time. However, further down the line, the story hints at the idea that Iruma might become the future ruler of demons, the Demon King, as the story heavily implies. Honestly, if that's not exciting, I don't know what is. It's a long journey, and the story doesn't always take itself seriously, but I'm all for it. Now, if you're looking for a read that stays wholesome and lighthearted, even with darkness and despair lurking in the shadows, this is definitely for you. But anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope that I made you interested in this manga, because I really love this manga, and I want other people to read it as well, and hopefully support the author. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and till next time, I guess.